pond was not quite finished out on my first video, and I've done a few things since then, so I'm going to show you that and then talk to you a little bit about some upgrades I planning on making. I'm only a few days in and I'm not happy with the way the filter system and stuff is working out, so we're going to talk about that a little bit and maybe about some additional features I'm planning to add to the pond. But she's looking pretty good so far. So you can see since that last video I did trim back the pond liner all the way around, right behind the big edging flat stone. Kind of filled in some dirt around the back of there, and then came back after and removed some more dirt because I decided to add this additional stone, which I really liked the way it made it look. I covered up that entire mound back there behind the waterfall that I created, and then I also added some plants. Brought my Buddha statue down from the... I decided I was going to change the pump. I'm not really happy with the way this pump's working. I talked in my first video about the brick sitting on top of my filter box over there. That little filter box is, it contains the pump inside of the box, and then it draws water in through the filters and pumps it back up to the waterfall. But that pump's rated at about 300 gallons per hour, and I think I can filter this water better if I move the water a little bit faster. So I'm going to pull that filter box out of there and show you what it looks like, and then show you some stuff I bought to enhance the filtration system. And I bought a much bigger pump that moves 1,200 gallons instead of 300 gallons, so 4 times as much water per hour. Will hopefully help me filter this a little bit better. So let's get to it. So this is a little filter box made by Smart Pond, which is sold at Lowe's. I think there's actually a couple other brands that look identical to this. The pump sits down inside of here, sucks water in through the top, and then pumps it back out through that hose that's coming out of the top, obviously. Got a coarse filter on top, and then a little bit finer filter inside. You can see how dirty that is. It needs to be cleaned up already. And then it's comes with a bunch of bio balls. These little balls are supposed to grow healthy bacteria to help keep your pond healthy. And this is the little pump I have in there. I'm going to replace this pump with a bigger pump, clean all of this up, and then I think I'm going to continue to use this box if I can fit the big pump inside. If not, we'll come up with a different plan, but I like the bio balls, and I want to filter as much as I can, so I'm going to try to reuse this. But I also bought like a little, kind of like a file crate, just a plastic crate, I'll show you in a second, and some additional filter material. I was going to put this inside of there and then draw the water through the other filter material, in through this filter material, and then pump back out to the waterfall and see if I can do a better job filtering this water in. I mentioned the Lotus Seeds and the lotus that I'm going to be adding to the pond. They've been germinating here about 5 or 6 days. And I think all but 2 of the seeds that I have in there have sprouted something and been growing. So they seem to be doing pretty well. A few more days and we'll get them in some mud and then get them growing in the pond. Here's the filter box with the new pump in it. This is a much larger pump than the other one. But it looks like it will fit pretty good. I may have to take a couple of those bio balls out to get it to fit where it can snap down the lid. But 2 layers of filter that's supposed to kind of go down inside a little bit. And then snap the lid on top. So I think it's going to work. Here's the crate I'm going to try to use. I'm going to line this with some filter material, and then I'm going to try to put this down inside, so kind of have a double filter system. So you can kind of cut this to size. I bought 2 pieces of it, but I'm gonna try to line that entire box or crate with this blue AC filter, and then put the other filter box down inside and put it in the pond and see how it does. The first thing I did was cut a piece of this filter for the bottom of this crate, which it may not be needed, but I have the material already. So there we go. It doesn't even really appear that I'm going to need any zip ties to secure this thing. It's pretty snug the way it is. I just extended this side up and I'm going to fold it over the top. Made a hole for the hose to come through right here. Stuff's pretty stiff. I don't know how long it's going to stay stiff, but so that's my additional filter. So we're gonna drop this thing in the pond and see how it does. Now it's obviously a little bit bigger than what I wanted. It's up to the, you can see it at the top of the water, but we're gonna let it run for a while and see how it does. It's obviously moving a whole lot more water than the other pump was. So I like the waterfall better that way. And hopefully this thing can filter this pond pretty decent. I gotta go back and fix the cord and the hose and that stuff over there.
Another water feature I was going to be working on. It's called a shishi odoshi. You can look that up if you're interested in reading about it, but it's a Japanese water feature that was put in gardens near agriculture. It literally stands for scare deer, so it's referred to in English as a deer scarer. And it's a water feature that pivots and creates a sound when it strikes a rock and scares animals away from an area where you might not want them eating your crops or something. So anyway, I always thought they looked cool and wanted to make one, so here we go.
So I found a pretty good size bamboo piece that's already dried out and has some good sections that aren't split. So I'm gonna try to work with this and see what I can do. I'm gonna get started cutting some pieces. This is my handy Japanese handsaw. I bought this when I was building my boat a number of years ago. It was recommended, and it's really a handy tool. I'm gonna use this to cut some of these pieces of bamboo and then show you what we got. So here's what we have. 4 pieces of bamboo. These 2 ends were cut for my legs. So got a little angle on that end so I can hammer those down into the ground. So those 2 pieces will go like that. And then this piece of bamboo will be hinged on like a piece of wooden dowel right there so it can swing back and forth like this. And the object is to have water run down here. I'll just put a rubber tube in the back of this, pumping my water through. The water will run down this tube, fill up this little section of the end of the bamboo, and then when the water gets heavy enough, it'll tip, pour the water out. When it pours the water out, boom, it goes back, and then you set this where it taps on a stone when it swings back. I left a little opening back here in case I wanted to add some weight. Put a few stones or something in there. There's a split in this part of the bamboo, but that doesn't have to hold water, so it doesn't really matter. Shishi Doshi. It's kind of dripping. Not working exactly the way I wanted it, but it is an added feature. See, I added those flat stones on top of the filter now, and you can see how much clearer the water is. The larger pump and the new filtration setup is working really great. I also added that barley bale right there that's floating in the corner. They say that's supposed to really help keep the water clear. And then there's a plant I took out of a nearby ditch. called lizard tail or swamp lily. See how that grows. But it's working much better. I'm really happy with it. Thanks for watching. If you like the videos, please like and subscribe.